This conference will now be recorded.
Hi everyone, good morning. Today I want to continue the MDS implementation session which we discussed yesterday. So yesterday we implemented MDS concept on the card validation system project, right? So today I want to implement the same concept on billing system. Okay, in billing system we have a WSDL. Billing system we have a WSDL. I want to move this WSDL to MDS path. But before moving this WSDL to MDS, first search and see what are all the places will be affected if I move this WSDL. So what we need to do, search for the keyword billing system people dot WSDL. I'm searching with the WSDL document name. See, this is the WSDL document name we have, right? This is the name. This is the WSDL document name. I want to search this document name and then see what are all the what are all the entries we have, and what are all the files affected with this entry. Okay, just search. If you click search button, it will show you these are all the places. See, last time when we searched the WSDL in card validation system, there are only 2 files affected. But in this project, total 3 files affected. One is composite, another is Beeple, and one more file is XSL file. Even XSL file also referring .WSDL document in XSL file. You can open this. Just double click on this search result. This guy will open the required file, XSL file, and line number 9 and line number 15. You can see the WSDL entry. Okay, it is trying to open. My developer is trying to open this file. Give him some time. Okay, this way, before you implement MDS concept on any document, it may be WSDL, it may be XSD or something else, first you need to search for that document at what are all the files referring this WSDL document. Okay, so in our current example billing system project, there are 3 documents referring WSDL path, that is local WSDL path. Now what we need to do, we need to make sure while we are moving the WSDL to MDS, we need to make all these locations, all these references must be updated with MDS path instead of local WSDL path. All these references should be updated with MDS path. Okay, let's see. So this is the XSL document. I just clicked on the result, line number 9. If you go to line number 9, guys, if you don't see line numbers, what you need to do, you need to enable toggle line numbers. See, okay, you can enable disable line numbers. See what this search result is saying. Line number 9 and line number 15, you can see the entries. Line number 9, this one, you can see the WSDL reference. It's a local WSDL path. Same way, line number 15. In line number 15 also you can see local WSDL path. This is an additional document, I mean, along with composite file, Beeple file, XSL file also referring WSDL path. Because this XSL file we created by using message type variables. Message type variable is nothing but the data type of the variable is a message defined in the WSDL. Okay, so that's what the reason this XSL has a dependency on WSDL. Your source variable is a message type variable, my target variable is a message type variable. So these 2 variables, data types are message type, and message type is from WSDL. See, source WSDL, target WSDL. Are we good? Okay, so nothing else you need to do here, but I just want to show you what are all the files will be affected. Okay, and then next thing, what I want to do, earlier in the design time MDS project, in the previous session, in the design time MDS project, we went to the backend. I mean, we went to the folder system and created the required folders, correct? So now what I want to do, I don't want to create folder from the backend. Directly you can create the folder in JDeveloper itself. Let me create a folder called billing system under apps folder. It's very simple. Right click on apps folder, new, from gallery, select general. Here you can see folder. Click OK. So you can give a meaningful naming convention, billing system. This is my project name. The same, I'm creating a folder name which is same as project name under, oh sorry, I must create it under application, right? Not under apps folder. I need to create the folder under application. Let me create the folder under application. While creating the folder, make sure the path, you can make sure about the path. The path is correct or not. See, this is the folder. This is my application. This is the repository folder. This is my application folder, design time MDS, SOA, apps, June 2022. Okay, here I want to create my folder. I will name it as billing system, which is exactly same as my project name. Okay, I'm just showing you an alternative way. You can also go to the folder system. There you can, I mean, regular process to create the folder, right? You can do that. But anyway, I want to show you, you can also create the folder directly in JDeveloper. Then you can observe, you can see a new folder. Under this folder, I want to create a subfolder called Visitals. Visitals. You can see I got the shortcut of folder Visitals, capital letters and small s, Visitals, under billing system folder. Okay, done. So this readme file is not required. Later we can remove. As of now, folder structure is important for us. Just observe the folder structure. Now what we need to do, I need to move the Visdal document from my building system project to design time MDS. So before moving, make sure your MDS connection is correct or not. Your MDS, just a cross checking. I mean, we have not made any changes, but just for cross checking, make sure your MDS connection is correct or not. Yes, my MDS connection is good. My MDS connection is good. So I just want to do the test connection and say, okay, done. Now go to your billing system, Visdal document. Before moving the Visdal document, make sure you closed all the files. I mean, if you open any composite file, Beeple file, anything is open, make sure you close all the files. Okay. Then right click on the Visdal, share using SOA design time MDS repository, select the option. It will open a pop-up for you to move this Visdal document from project to MDS project. Okay, click next. Within the apps folder, where we want to move this document? Under Visdal folder. I want to move my document under Visdal folder. Click next. See, along with Visdal document, it is also moving the dependent file, that is XSD document, by creating the folder. See here, schemas folder we did not create it under billing system folder, but it is going to create. Okay, click next. And these are all the files affected. Beeple file, there is an entry for Visdal that will be modified with MDS path. Observe the MDS path. MDS path is always starts with vara MDS : /apps, and this is the path from apps folder to the target document. Whatever document we are trying to access, from apps folder to the document, the entire path. Okay, but the path prefixed with vara MDS keyword. That means we are telling JDeveloper this is an MDS path, not local path, not physical path. This is an MDS relative path. Okay, the same thing. Wherever we have a local Visdal reference, all the local Visdal references will be replaced with the MDS Visdal references. Okay, done. Click finish. Once you are done, all three files will be modified by their own. We no need to do any manual changes. And the Visdal document and XSD document removed from your project. They removed from your project and moved to MDS folder. Just refresh your MDS project. Refresh MDS project. Here you can see refresh. Once you refresh, you can see the XSD document and Visdal document. This text document is not required. You can delete it. This is just a README file. If you want to continue, not an issue, but I don't want it. Okay, it has no dependency on any other folder or file. So I just removed the README file. Anyway, you can see we got the Visdal, we got the XSD. Okay, done. Now just validate. Let's refresh the search result. We have the search result, right? Refresh and see the Visdal references updated or not. Just refresh. Okay, now you see, you can observe here all the local Visdal path replaced with MDS path. Okay, all the entries. So this is what JDeveloper will take care. We no need to do manually going to each property and modifying it. That is not required. Okay, so JDeveloper will take care. It will modify it will replace the local reference WSDL path with MDS WSDL path. Are we good? Any questions as of now? Any questions? No? Okay, right. So our billing system is ready. Our billing system is ready. We moved the WSDL and XSD to the design time MDS project. But if you want to deploy billing system, not just billing system, we also need to deploy MDS first. To deploy MDS, what we need to do, I told you the process right yesterday, how to deploy the MDS. So there is an approach. You need to create a deployment profile. Method one, we are following method one, right? You need to create a deployment profile, which is project level deployment profile, application level deployment profile, and then you have to deploy the MDS part. So anyway, yesterday I already configured the deployment profile in my design time MDS project. I just simply edit my deployment profile. I will edit. To edit the deployment profile, you need to go to project properties. In the project properties, go to deployment. Here you can see the deployment profile which you created yesterday. It's a one-time job. You no need to create the deployment profile again and again. You can edit it. You just edit it. Once you edit this, if you go to contributors, you can see yesterday we selected the apps folder as the contributor, apps folder as the contributor, right? Under this apps folder, if you go to filters, make sure you selected all the required files which you want to deploy. So this is billing system XSD, billing system WSDL, card validation system XSD, card validation system WSDL. Suppose yesterday I already deployed card validation system. So today I can deploy only billing system. I no need to include card validation system because I already deployed it. I don't want to override it. Okay. If you select and deploy, there is nothing bad will happen. It will override the whole document. That's it. Nothing. I mean, I don't say any risk here, but make sure your documents, card validation system documents, don't have any unwanted changes. Okay, because when we are going to production, it is not really suggestible to override the existing documents. At that time, what we do, card validation system already deployed yesterday, so we don't include them. We include only billing system files because billing system files are new files for today. Okay, there are no changes in card validation system, so I don't want to include in the deployment process. Okay, right. Let's say okay, done. Now what I want to do, let's go to application level deployment profile. Go to application properties, same approach, go to deployment. This is the application level deployment profile, edit it. And if you go to dependencies, yesterday we selected card validation system jar, right? So today I want to select billing system, where is it? We need to go to design time MDS project, and then you need to select the project level deployment profile. This is only one service we have, one project level deployment profile we have. I just selected yesterday itself. I'm showing you, that's it. Okay, so the thing is here, guys, application level deployment profile is one-time job. You can configure it only one time. You don't need to configure it every time. Suppose you have 10 SOA projects, you don't need to configure application deployment profile for 10 times. Okay, so we have card validation system, we have billing system. For both the projects, I can use the same application level deployment profile and the same project level deployment profile. One application level deployment profile, one project level deployment profile. But in the project level deployment profile, you can control what you want to include in the deployment, what you don't want to include in the deployment. You have this option. If you go to filters, you have the control, what files you want to include in the deployment, what files you don't want to include in the deployment. Okay, right. Let me deploy my MDS. I will deploy my MDS by using application level deployment profile. MDS we deploy by using application level deployment profile, guys, not by using project level deployment profile. SOA projects, how we are doing the deployment, project level deployment profile. Each project has a deployment profile that we are selecting and deploying. But for MDS, we have to go with application level deployment profile. Finish. So now what happened? So MDS, I'm deploying the MDS, and very important point here, guys. when you are deploying MDS, that MDS project is not visible in your enterprise manager. You cannot see that MDS project like any other project, card validation system, billing system. We can see the projects in the manager under the SOA infra default folder, right? So we cannot see MDS project like that. Okay, let me go to this enterprise manager. It is taking little time to load. Let it load. Okay. So meantime, what happened to the deployment? See, the deployment finished. Okay. My deployment finished. You can deploy the billing system now. You must deploy the billing system because the billing system, we made some changes. We need to deploy the billing system. Finish. Okay. Let it deploy. Okay. Okay, so our billing system also deployed. So next time onwards, whenever you want to deploy card validation system and billing system, first you need to deploy the MDS. First, you need to deploy the MDS, and within MDS, you need to make sure all the required files selected are not. Okay, you must make sure all the required files selected. Then only you deploy the MDS. Once you deploy the MDS, then after MDS deployment, you need to deploy card validation system and billing system. Okay. Anyway, if you come to your enterprise manager, you can see billing system, card validation system, hello world, and arithmetic operation. But you are not able to see design time MDS project because design time MDS project we deployed as a jar, not as a SAR file. It's not a SAR file. It's not SOA archive. It is just a jar. I will show you how to access the deployed files, MDS deployed files. Okay, but for now, make a note of it. You cannot see your design time MDS project in your enterprise manager in the list of SOA projects. Hope you understand the point. Okay, that's not a SOA project. This guy is not a SOA project. This guy designed just to maintain the MDS structure, apps folder. Okay, apps folder you can design anywhere in the developer machine. No need to be within the SOA project. But for our convenience purpose, we are maintaining this apps folder under one specific SOA project. Okay, so if you deploy this design time MDS project, you don't see it in the enterprise manager, but it is deployed. It is deployed. Okay, what you can do once after your deployment, it's a regular process, right? You need to test the program. Without testing the program, you must not confirm the program is completed. You need to test the program. Okay. So how to test the program? I will use my SOAP UI. Okay. I will use my SOAP UI. I will create a SOAP UI project. I will name it as billing system. I did not save it last time. I created the SOAP project, but I forgot to save it. Billing system client and get the WSDL. Get the WSDL. I'm using my local host server, so I will replace the host name. If it is a remote server, you no need to replace the host name. You must use the remote server domain name. Localhost 7101, just save it. Okay, I want to save my project first. Last time I forgot to save it. Billing system client. Okay, now go to the project. I will provide some name here. I will supply 2 items. Okay, done. So let me hit the request. Once you hit the request, as this is a asynchronous service, You don't see the response in SOAP UI right away. You go to your enterprise manager, you can observe the instances. You go to the instances section, flow instances, and here search for the instances, recent instances, and you can find the latest instance. Okay, you can find the latest instance, open this and observe the result. So if you get exact result, that means your MDS implementation is working as expected. Okay, go to billing system, but without verifying all these details, without looking into all these details, don't confirm your program is working. Okay, you must not confirm in that way. Anyway, we got the total cost and this is BS response and we got all the required fields. That means our program is working even after implementing the MDS section. Any questions? Any questions from anyone? No? Okay. Fine, sir. So what we did, we implemented the same concept, MDS implementation on card validation system we did yesterday. Today we did the same approach on the billing system, but we are reusing design time MDS project. It is one-time job. Design time MDS project we are reusing. Design time MDS connection we are reusing. We are not creating a new one. Okay, and then we moved billing system WSDL into our design time MDS project. Okay, and then we validated all the changes. Okay, and then we went for deployment. At the time of deployment, we used method 1. In the method 1, yesterday we configured project level deployment profile. The same deployment profile I reused. Application level deployment profile, the same application level deployment profile we reused today and deployed our MDS. Okay, now I want to show you the method 2. What is this method 2? So method 2 is more a simpler approach to deploy the MDS. So what we need to do, I want to create a server level MDS connection. Server level MDS connection, that is runtime MDS connection. So guys, yesterday we speak about runtime MDS connection, right? In the previous session, runtime MDS connection is in two different ways, whether your server is an integrated domain or a standalone domain. If your server is an integrated domain, your runtime MDS is a file-based system. Your server is a standalone domain. Your runtime MDS is in Oracle database. Okay, so let me show you how to connect it. Okay, but you need the server details. Okay, so anyway I'm using integrated domain. Let me show you how I can create the application server, sorry, how to create the runtime MDS connection. If you go to JDeveloper, here you can see SOA MDS. Just right click on it. I want to create a new connection. You can see there is a new connection option. Select the new connection. So what do you want to connect? I want to connect runtime MDS. Runtime MDS. Okay, runtime MDS repository. Some naming convention. Naming convention is just your choice. I will say MDS connection. Okay, runtime MDS connection. And our MDS connection is file based. See guys, there are two types. If it is standalone, you need to select database. If it is integrated server, you need to go with file based MDS. Okay, if it is standalone server, standalone domain, you need to go with the database MDS connection. You need to create the database connection here. You need to provide a database host name, database port number, database user, database password, database SID. There are some connection details, DB connection details are required that you need to select, that you need to provide and connect. I will show you in some other example how to connect database. Anyway, here I'm showing you file-based MDS, but anyway, our intention is to connect with the server side MDS. Whether it is integrated server or standalone server is a different matter. But our intention is to connect the server side MDS, server runtime MDS. Okay. Anyway, it is a file-based MDS. So if it is integrated domain, I told you yesterday, in integrated domain, this is the path. This is the path where our MDS will be configured. Runtime MDS will be configured. Correct. So you need to browse the path. Browse. Just click on the browse icon and you will go to users. Under users, my user is Dell. Under this, I want to go to app data. Under this, roaming, and here JDeveloper. Under JDeveloper, system 12214. Under this, default domain. Under default domain, store GMDS. Store. Under this GMDS, and you can see MDS SOA infra, you can see apps folder. So whenever you are creating connection, you always select the parent folder of apps folder. It may be design time MDS, it may be runtime MDS. Okay, so I'm selecting runtime MDS, parent folder of apps folder. Just say okay, test connection, it is success, say okay. Now you can see, guys, this is runtime MDS connection, this is design time MDS connection. Both you can expand and see, both you can expand and watch. Okay, are we good? Okay, let's say I want to delete billing system Wisdom. Okay, I want to delete billing system. See, I'm deleting it from runtime MDS. Observe, I'm deleting it from runtime MDS. I just deleted it from runtime MDS. Done. And I also deleted XSD, billing system XSD. Now what happened, guys? We have billing system XSD and WSDL in the design time MDS project. We have billing system XSD and WSDL in the design time MDS connection, but billing system XSD and WSDL are not available at server level. Server level, I deleted it. Okay. Suppose if I try to deploy the project, if I try to deploy the billing system project, observe how it behaves. Okay, if I try to deploy, see what it is doing. Will it work? It won't work. What is happening? Just have a look. Because I deleted the dependencies from the server. So what I am telling from the beginning, if you deploy any project, first you need to deploy the dependencies. See what it is saying? Fail. It is not able to deploy the program because the dependencies are not available at the server level. Server level, I deleted the WSDL and schema, WSDL and XSD. Correct? Okay. Now to fix this issue, what we need to do? One thing, you need to deploy your design time MDS. You need to deploy your design time MDS into server. Use this deployment profile. Use the application level deployment profile and deploy your MDS. Then your MDS goes to server and you can deploy the billing system. This is method 1. But method 2, see, this is method 2. What I want to do is, you have an option. There is something called transfer. Let me check that option. Yeah, you can see there is something called transfer from design time MDS. Design time MDS is completely under the control of developer, and runtime MDS is under the control of server. Okay, in design time MDS, right click on it. You see an option. See, you don't need to configure project level deployment profile. You don't need to configure application level deployment profile. This is a simple option, but this is not suggestible to use. I mean, we may not have direct access to runtime MDS in the real servers. Okay, I mean, they may not share the database credentials with us. Okay, anyway, I will discuss about it. But anyway, how to move documents from design time MDS to runtime MDS connection. So you just go to transfer, click on the transfer option. You will get a pop-up. Okay, in the pop-up, it will give you an option what documents you want to transfer. Okay, so in the pop-up, it is showing all the documents. So I will select only the required documents. Let's say I want to move only billing system WSDL and XSD. Okay, and what is your target connection? My target connection is runtime MDS connection. Okay, just say transfer. So in this method 2, this is method 2. If I use this method 2 approach, I no need to have design time MDS, design time project level deployment, MDS project level deployment, MDS application level deployment. Okay, deployment profiles are not required. Now See this runtime MDS connection, simply refresh this guy. If you refresh this guy, you can see the billing system XSD and WSDL transferred from design time MDS connection to runtime MDS connection. Now let's try to do the deployment. Last time it failed, right? Deployment failed because the dependencies are missing. So now if you try to do the deployment, what will happen? Okay, see now my code got deployed. My code got deployed. Okay, done. Okay, but let me check which branch I am using. I don't know which branch I'm following. Git branch. How to check that? Go to your repository, git bash here. Is I'm doing directly all my changes in main branch. Oh my God, I did all my changes in main branch. Okay, don't do that, guys. What you can do, you can do the changes in the MDS branch. Later, you can merge the changes into MDS branch. Okay, right. This is about how to implement the MDS part in the billing system as well, along with card validation system. So this way you can implement the MDS in any number of services, guys. So let's say if you have Hello World, you can do the practice in Hello World, move the WSDL document from your current project to MDS, and you can do all the testing and all the practice you can do. Not only Hello World, any program, arithmetic services or any program, you start doing this implementation. Okay, let me do the commit, guys. I'm doing the commit directly in the main branch, but that is not suggestible. You have to do the changes in the feature slash MDS branch. Okay, anyway, I did the mistake. I will correct it. I will correct it after the session, guys. But what you need to do, you need to make sure commit all the files and then push all the files. Okay, and then you can merge your feature branch into main branch. That is the process we follow every day, right? The same process you can do, but make sure you are doing all these changes in MDS branch, not in the main branch. So main branch, we don't do the direct changes, we just deploy the code. So what I want to do, I don't want, see, it's a mistake. I did a mistake. Okay, I did a mistake in main branch. I directly modified all my changes in the main branch. I'm not interested to continue this. What I will do, I will remove my application. Okay, save everything. Instead of doing this, what I will do, I go to my folder. I will create a new repository. I will name it as 3007-2022. I will go with a fresh clone. There are different options you can do, but I'm going with a fresh clone. I want to redo this. I don't want to corrupt my branches. Okay, let's git. Where is our command? We have a clone command, right? Git clone. Yeah, this is my git clone. Okay, now enter into repository. So now I'm in main branch, but I want to go to git checkout feature slash MDS branch. Done. Now I'm in MDS branch. Go back to JDeveloper. Before you open the application, see my MDS, my code repository got changed. This is the old code repository. This is the old code repository. This is the new code repository. I want to go to new code repository. Before you open the application in your JDeveloper, must first make sure you need to modify your design time MDS connection. Okay, go to properties, go browse, go for browse icon. And instead of using the old repository, I want to use the new repository. In the new repository, go to design time MDS project and so a folder. This is the connection. So browse the parent folder of apps folder. Say OK, test connection, and say OK, done. MDS is fixed. Design time MDS is fixed. Now I want to go to my application. Go to your SO application. Now go to design. So I'm doing a rework, guys. I'm not doing something new. I'm doing a rework. Now here, okay, I got my, what is this? What I opened? Oh, I opened the old repository. Let me close this. Open the correct one. Open. So this is the old repository. This is the new repository. Go to new repository. Open the JWS file. Okay. Then if you see the design time MDS, it is the old state. It must be in the old state. Okay. Let me create the billing system folder. Billing system folder. Where is it? Gallery folder. I will name it as billing system. Billing system. Okay. Under billing system, I want to what happened to it? Create the billing system project folder. Billing system. Okay. Under my application. I want to create this under my application, correct? Under this, I want to create one more folder called visitors. Done. Now go to your billing system project. Go to your visitor, because I did not committed my changes, right? Last time I did not committed and pushed the changes. So I took the fresh clone and I'm going into MDS branch and everything is as is. This is the yesterday's stage. Now move this document to MDS. I will move this document to billing system visitor folder. Okay, XSD and visitor both will be moved and finish. Done. And I don't want these readme documents. First refresh. Okay, I don't want readme documents. I will delete them. Okay, done. So now my code is good. You can go to billing system. You can see everything is loading perfectly. Okay. Anyway, now my branch is clean. My branch is clean. Now what I can do? Git the UI. Commit all the required files. Commit all the required files. Make sure before you start your practice, make sure you are in which branch. That's very important. Okay. This file, XSD file, I deleted. See the status of the file. Question mark means this is a deleted file. We deleted XSD file from billing system. We deleted WSDL file from billing system. You can see the question mark icon. Okay. So yes, we deleted them. We need to commit the delete operation for sure. Okay. And BPEL, in the BPEL, we have a local WSDL reference that was replaced with MDS WSDL. We need to commit that. XSL file also contains local WSDL reference and we replaced it with MDS. We need to commit the file. And we have a composite file. Composite file also contains local WSDL references and we replaced them with MDS reference, MDS WSDL path. You need to commit it. And see, this is design time MDS project. In design time MDS project, we newly introduced the XSD document and WSDL document. These two files you need to commit. These two files you need to commit. Okay, done. You can see these are all the files we need to commit. Now what I will do, I will give a command MDS implemented in billing system project. Okay, done. Commit and push. If you do this push, feature/MDS, done. So now I committed my code changes into the MDS folder only. MDS folder only. So now what I want to do, go back to your Git repository, Git command line utility, Git checkout, main branch. In the main branch, I want to pull my feature branch, Git pull origin feature/MDS. Feature/MDS. Now your main branch will be updated. So git GUI, push the main branch. Push the main branch. If you don't push the main branch, you cannot get the changes in the central repository. Okay, push the main branch. Done. That's it. So we are ready with MDS implementation. We did the MDS implementation in card validation system and billing system, and we saw how to deploy MDS into server. I told you two different approaches. One is project level deployment profile and application level deployment profile. By using these two deployment profiles, you can deploy your design time MDS into server. This is a standard approach. There is a simple approach, method 2. If you can able to create the runtime MDS connection, if you can able to create the runtime MDS connection in your developer, either integrated server or standalone server. If it is integrated server, you know the location. You must know the location where is your runtime MDS is configured. It's a default location. We no need to do anything to configure. By default, your integrated server uses this location as runtime MDS. If it is a standalone domain, it is an Oracle database. Your runtime MDS is an Oracle database. You must have the database connection details to connect with the standalone domain. I will show you how to create the database connection in some further examples. Okay. Now, in the method 2, the advantage in method 2 is it's very simple. You can delete it, you can directly access your server and delete. If you want any document to delete, you can delete the document. And you can transfer the document from your design time MDS to runtime MDS. It's very simple. Just use a transfer option. So any questions from anybody? Any questions from anyone? No, sir. Okay. Okay, guys, I will stop here.